12. Pisces. Pisces is the least arrogant, not because he pretends to be cocky when he's actually not, but because he's way too chicken to even try to be full of himself. Chalk it up to the fact that he likes being helpful and friendly to everyone he meets, or because he's just a fearful personality, but no matter how you spin it, Pisces ain't arrogant. Try to push him around and he'll stand up for himself, but even then, he can still be a huge pushover. You'll never see a Pisces trying to talk himself up in a bar or at a party, challenging your smarts with his, or acting like a jerk when someone doesn't give him the time of day. He would much prefer not to rock the boat when he can stay in his own lane without creating drama. 11. Gemini. Gemini is someone who knows how to be fake arrogant really well. He seems like he's already ready for a fight or a pissing contest, but in reality, he'd rather hide under a rock until it was all over. This can be confusing because Gemini is great at pretending he's someone he's not when he's hidden behind the internet or someone else. You can tell Gemini doesn't live up to his fake personality because when it comes time to show everyone just how far his arrogance will take him, he's nowhere to be found. In fact, he's too nervous to even apologize for his behavior in the first place. But give him a day or two and he'll be back to his old ways, telling everyone who will listen that he's still better than everyone else who tries to mess with him. 10. Libra. The only hint of arrogance you'll ever see in Libra is when he's holding a grudge. And even then, his arrogance is more like stubbornness. Libra is way too afraid of confrontation to ever want to act arrogant enough to attract attention. He would much rather keep holding grudges against people instead of getting in someone's face, especially just for the heck of it. This dislike for arrogance in himself is probably why he always butts heads with people who are overly arrogant. He just doesn't see the point in being a jerk for no reason. That said, he also isn't one to stand up for himself when the more conceited personalities try to tear him down. It would be much better for him to learn when to pick his battles instead of running away from every uncomfortable situation or person. 9. Aries. Aries is naturally an aggressive, in-your-face personality, but arrogance is not his style. He doesn't see the need to be pushy or rude around others when he knows that people tend to listen to him anyway. He's not completely selfless, of course, because there are times when he'd rather just worry about himself than you, but even then he isn't a jerk about it. Aries likes having a good time, and he knows that the more arrogant he is, the less likely people will want to have a good time with him. The only times you'll ever see him get aggressive or mad is when he tries the nice guy act and people still try to test him. Otherwise, he's usually on his best behavior, without letting people give him any crap. 8. Scorpio. Scorpio isn't always arrogant, but when he is, it can get bad, like really bad. He tries to be a good person generally, but factors like drinking, drugs, and yes, even being horny can make his mood change on a dime. One minute he's all into talking about you, the next he's wondering why you don't want to flirt with him. He's the type of person you stay away from when he's feeling really arrogant because his mood can either border on violent or he can just get stupid. His arrogance looks more like overconfidence, which means he's prone to doing something dumb just to show off. Moments like these, you find yourself saying, "What did we all expect from Scorpio?" because it tends to happen more often than not when he's acting cocky. 7. Sagittarius. What makes Sagittarius arrogant is his inability to keep his mouth shut. He might try to play off his inane questions and constant remarks about how awesome he is as jokes, but I'm afraid he's dead serious. Not only that, but his constant yammering is just tactless. You'll often find that you roll his eyes when he tries to engage you in conversation. Of course, while he can be obnoxious and conceited sometimes, he's not nearly as troublesome as some of the other arrogant signs. He really just likes talking about himself and can't see why you wouldn't either, so he keep on being thoughtless. However, it can get a little annoying for him to always steer the conversation to his muscles and amazing driving skills when you weren't even talking about that in the first place. Just rude. 6. Aquarius. Aloof is often used to describe Aquarius because it can mean distant, which is something Aquarius absolutely is, but it can also mean standoffish, something he also is. There's really no reason for Aquarius to be as standoffish as he is besides the fact that he likes acting that way. Why pretend like he's really humble or sweet when he can be his true self? Aquarius doesn't have any underlying reasons for being cocky and arrogant, so when you see him acting this way, you don't have to waste your breath asking him why he's so rude. That's just him. And the more it bothers you when he's arrogant, the better he feels about himself, so ignore him as best you can. I know, it's hard. 5. Cancer. You wouldn't think that Cancer would be one of the most arrogant signs, but don't be so quick to dismiss him. What makes his arrogance dangerous is that he has a way of manipulating you into agreeing with him about everything. Is he the best at arguing his point in a conversation? Probably not. Does he know how to persuade you into thinking you're the one who doesn't know what they're talking about? Absolutely. This manipulation technique can be used in 100 different ways, all of which Cancer isn't above using to get his way. You need to watch out for him when he's feeling especially full of himself, because not only will he start getting controlling, he will also start getting mean. He automatically assumes that everyone will fall at his feet, and when you don't, he's not too happy about it. 4. Capricorn. Capricorn is the type of person to learn all about a topic he has absolutely no interest in, just so he can tear you down with facts and make you feel foolish. When you don't know something that he does, he can get incredibly condescending. Why? Because it makes him feel better knowing that he's smarter than you and can prove it. In fact, Capricorn is so arrogant about his smarts that he finds immense pleasure in bringing you down. You might have a fighting chance if you're a pretty smart person yourself, but go up against a Capricorn about anything and you'll feel his wrath. When he's mad, he'll say anything he can to save face and remain as superior as ever. 3. Virgo. Virgo doesn't really care about what you think of him as much as he cares about his own opinion, but that doesn't make him any less arrogant. In reality, he's delusional in thinking that being a perfectionist is a good thing, when all it does is make him unbearable to be around. Instead of taking a compliment or just having fun doing something, he has to be critical about his every move until he can truly say he's the best. And that is exactly what Virgo aims to be, the best at everything. His perfectionist attitude is just arrogance in disguise, because guess what? He already thinks he's the best, he just feels like he has to prove it to everyone else around him. And just saying it makes him sound cocky. What he really wants is proof of his perfection so that you will have to agree with him. 2. Leo. Leo is almost as arrogant as they come, but he's arrogant for an entirely different reason besides wanting to be right all the time. It's no secret that Leo can be pretty superficial at times. Always wanting to look good and be the center of attention usually comes with an inflated sense of self. And boy, does Leo have an inflated ego. Leo is so egotistical, in fact, that he would better be served dating himself and being his own best friend, because no one will ever get close to his greatness. He's actually not afraid to say some variation of this either, which makes his arrogant nature that much more headache-inducing. He believes that if he's honest about his big ego that it'll make it easier to swallow, but it really just makes him look like a bigger jerk. 1. Taurus. What makes Taurus without a doubt the most arrogant sign isn't just that he is full of himself. It's the fact that he is so stubborn and uncompromising that even if you did want to disagree with him on something, you'd just be wasting your breath. Being around Taurus when he's acting arrogant is frustrating because he's not one to back down about anything. Taurus could be blatantly wrong about something and still be too stubborn to concede. That said, he tends to go out of his way to back up his big-headedness, which only makes it that much more unbearable. People tend to underestimate Taurus when they don't know him that well because he's very unassuming. Until you're faced with his arrogance for the first time.